broadcast is presented by the authority of the Pacific Coast Sports Racing Association and the National Association of Professional Racing Leagues Incorporated for the private use of our audience. Any broadcast transmitters or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Pacific Coast Sports and the National Association of Professional Racing is prohibited. On the Sports and Gaming Channel from Learfield IMG College. Welcome to Triple P on the Blue Hedgehog TV. Now here's the voice of the PCSRA, Mr. Daniel Voiles.
Welcome to the Happy Halloween Candy was in the Sunshine State edition of Triple P. Daniel Voiles at PCSRA Studios. As we've on this program, I want to say Happy Halloween all over the world that loves to go trick-or-treating. I know the best junior kids will not go trick-or-treating, but our good kids in our PCSRA studios love to go trick-or-treating. But welcome, excuse me, to this episode of Triple and my, which is Bucky Jr. Say hi, Mr. Bucky Jr. Hello, everybody. Awesome show of Tree and Monster. We'll take it over from here. Yep, that was Bucky Jr. saying, of course, he's making his second full win. He made his debut last weekend. Him and Big Bucky. So, welcome to Triple P, everybody, in our PCSRA studios. Getting ready to talk about what happened from this weekend's races at Mexico and as well as the Homestead Miami Speedway. We'll get you caught up because I forgot to do the NR report on Indianapolis last week, but that's okay with me. Should be a lot of fun. We'll get you ready for Martinsville this weekend. We have a fun, exciting battle. We got a couple of top story news. I'm going to go ahead and go over, give you my opinion about that. And, of course, we'll get you ready for Martinsville. And also, you'll see our predictions, all that in our Discord deal. So, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and forewarn you all this right here and right now. If you hear me coughing or sniffling right here, I sincerely apologize. I'm dealing with allergy crap since like yesterday. I started dealing with this. I was fine this past weekend. I just don't know what happened, but it's probably because the weather is changing a lot. So I'm just giving a little heads up. If it sounds like this, I do apologize. So please don't freak out as that is concerned. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and kick the fun. We're going to first recap the F1 race from Mexico, and then we will recap Homestead as far as that is concerned. I did watch everything, so just give me all that heads up here. I had to go back and forth between the F1 race and the Cup race. And like I said, I was in a VC with Sean, so yeah. So let's talk about the F1 race. It was an interesting start to the race. Carlos Sainz started on pole. He got away. Max Verstappen had a better launch at the start. Passed Carlos Sainz in the second phase of the start. Max ended up taking the lead. Carlos Sainz ended up cutting turn number 2 and 3. Had to give the position back. As that was happening, Alex Albon and Yuki Tsunoda figured that 4 into 1 does not work, and the two make contact, and Tsunoda's right rear tire comes off the car. He goes into the wall with the right side and then backed his car into the Tech Pro. Alex Albon had suspension damage. That brought out the only safety car in the race, and both drivers' days were done. And as I said, that brought out a safety car in the process. Fernando Alonso, mechanical problems, unfortunately had to retire out of the race. Tough break for him in his Grand Prix start. I had to take some water, so hope y'all don't mind me drinking water on this show, which I need to say hi as far as that is concerned. Nothing really else happened in that race, and at the end of the day, Carlos Sainz to what could be his final win with Ferrari. Let's hope that's not the case and all that is concerned. So let's talk about the top 10 results for the F1 race. The winner, Lando Norris second, Charles Leclerc third, Lewis Hamilton fourth, George Russell fifth, Max Verstappen sixth, who had a 20-second time for forcing another driver off the track. The second one was leaving the track and gaining an advantage, so he ended up getting two 10-second time penalties, which he had to serve on the pit stop, so he ended up finishing in sixth. Kevin Magnussen, that was the last driver on the lead lap. Nico Hulkenberg completed the top 10. Only 3 of the 20 starters in F1 failed to finish. I thought Mexico was a good race. It was a very, how should I say this? Very interesting race, but I thought the race really good. Even though we only had one safety car, but that's okay with me as far as that's concerned. Now let's go over to Homestead Miami Speedway. We're starting a series that happened early Saturday afternoon. Of course, I didn't get to go out to eat with Mario because I had to watch the Truck and Xfinity Series doubleheader, which, by the way, I do get the CW. Let me tell you how the race went for Truck Series. It went okay for obvious reasons. Nothing happened in stage 1 or in stage 2. Corey Heim and Grant Enfinger won both of those stages. The rest of your top 10 from stage 1 was Caden Honeycutt, who got second, Ty Majeski third, fourth, Taylor Gray, fifth, Christian Eckes, sixth, Grant Bozak seventh, eighth, Nick Caruth, and 10th, Winton. The rest of the top 10 was in stage 2, where the following: Corey Heim second, third, Wickus, fourth, Ty Majeski, fifth went to K-Cut. Taylor Gray got sixth, seventh went to Daniel Dye, who was recently eliminated from the playoffs. Connor Bozak, eighth, ninth, Roger Caruth, and 10th went to Matt Crafton. So the first 2 stages went calm and clean as far as that's concerned, which is kind of typical truck racing, if you ask me. But then on lap number 77 of the 134 laps, our first and surprisingly our only incident of the race. Connor Jones was trying to make a move under Matt Mills when in the turn number 3, carried a little too much speed and then just bumped Matt Mills in the worst angle going in the corner. Got Matt Mills loose. He was trying to save it, overcorrected, pow, right into the safer barrier pretty hard. The truck caught on fire. Thankfully, he was out of the truck and okay, although he had to go to the hospital because of fumes. Because of the fumes, he spent a couple of days in the hospital, and he was later released from the hospital yesterday, which I'm happy to report. And Connor Jones was slapped with a 2-lap penalty for aggressive driving, which made a lot of sense. So I don't know, as I'm taping this, if there's going to be any punishment for Connor Jones, because Bob Chris mentioned that there could be some punishment coming for Connor Jones. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. And if there is any news as far as the Connor Jones situation, I will let you guys know as far as that is concerned in the in that regard. So yes. It could have a decision tomorrow, which we'll talk about that on next week's show if that decision is tomorrow. So just to give you guys that heads up right here and right now. So the top 10 results for the Truck Series race for the Bathurst L200. Grant Enfinger goes on and wins the race. He was already locked into the championship for. Now he could possibly be the favorite. So he went back-to-back races. Did he possibly make it a sweep like Logano did in 2015, perhaps? We will have to wait and see as far as that's concerned. So your top 10 results are as follows. Grant Enfinger and Majeski second, Connor Mozak third, Corey Heim fourth, Tyler Ankrum fifth, Stuart Friesen 6th, Daniel Dye 7th, Roger Carruth 8th, Christian Eckes 9th, Taylor Gray complete your top 10. And then Nick Sanchez finished in 13th place as far as that is concerned. And only Matt Mills, as I mentioned, was the only out of the 34 starters, which we'll talk about more on the big news in the Truck Series coming up later on in the show. Moving to the Xfinity Series race for the Credit One NASCAR Amex Credit Card 300. That's kind of a mouthful. But in Mark Oliveira's, we call it the Ford 300. That's basically what we should call it, in my personal opinion. But here's how the Xfinity Series went. That was all Saturday because we had a Xfinity Series double header. So let's tell you what happened in that race. Well, basically nothing happened in stage one. Austin Hill won stage one. Top 10 results were as follows in the stage one. Eric Almirola got second. Third went to Sheldon Creed. Fourth, Justin Allgaier. Fifth went to Cole Custer. Sixth place went to Sam Mayer. Seventh, AJ Allmendinger. Riley Herbst. Eighth. Ninth went to Chandler Smith. And 10th went to Ryan Sieg. Coming to the end of stage number 2, Nick Lee spun in turn number 2 and had some suspension problems that took him out of the race with him, which also ended stage 2. Austin Hill ended up winning stage number 2. Second went to AJ Allmendinger. Third went to Cole Custer. Fourth went to Ryan Sieg. Fifth, Eric Almirola. Sixth, Sheldon Creed. Seventh, Justin Allgaier. Eighth went to Chandler Smith. Ninth, Jesse Love. And 10th went to William Sawalich, or as Roddy likes to call him, William Make Me a Sandwich. In that process, just after the restart from that instant, we had a long green flag run, but then on lap 123 of 200, had our final caution. A right front tire went down on Josh Williams' car. He goes into the wall, collects the 26 of Ryan Truex. Truex spun around. Both drivers continued on. Nothing else happened the rest of the race. And Austin Hill punches his ticket into the championship for winning the Credit One NASCAR Amex Credit Card 300 at Homestead Miami Speedway. Top 10 results for the Xfinity Series race was the following. Excuse me. Austin Hill's the winner. Cole Custer second. Eric Almirola third. Jesse Love fourth. Sheldon Creed fifth. Riley Herbst sixth. Ryan Sieg seventh. Justin Allgaier eighth. Sam Mayer ninth. AJ Allmendinger completed the top 10. Chandler Smith finished in 13th. And Sammy Smith second place. Only 3 of the 38 starters in the Xfinity Series failed to finish. Then we go to the Cup Series race for the Straight Talk Wireless 400. Didn't even get one lap in. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. turned Justin Haley around. Haley did a good job saving his car, and of course, Justin Haley was not his only spin of the race. Then we had a debris caution in turn number 4. The rest of stage 1 went to Tyler Reddick. Second, Bubba Wallace, his teammate. Third, Chase Elliott. Fourth, Ryan Blaney. Fifth went to Carson Hocevar. Excuse me. Christopher Bell got 6th. 7th, Denny Hamlin. 8th went to William Byron. Alex Bowman, who was recently eliminated, got 9th. And Martin Truex Jr. got the top 10. Nothing happened in stage 2. Denny Hamlin won stage 2 over Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney. That was your top 5. Byron, Truex, Hocevar, Ryan Preece, and AJ Allmendinger, this week's driver, the 16 in the Cup Series, completed the top 10. We had a nice little long run, but then on lap 188 of 267, Justin Haley got spun, this time off the nose of Ty Gibbs in that regard. Then we had a nice little green flag run, but coming towards the end of the race, Kyle Larson was trying to pass Ryan Blaney. with the trying to use Austin Dillon as a pick. Larson got into Blaney, put Austin Dillon in the wall, and Kyle Larson spun in turn 4. That caused a late race restart. But Tyler Reddick ended up holding off a lot of drivers on fresh tires and ended up getting his first win this season as far as concerned. Only J.J. Ely was the driver of the 38s who failed to finish the Cup race. The top 10 results for the Cup race was Tyler Reddick, the winner, Ryan Blaney second, Denny Hamlin third, Christopher Bell fourth, Chase Elliott fifth, William Byron sixth, Alex Bowman seventh, AJ Allmendinger eighth, Carson Hocevar ninth, and 10th was Ryan Preece. Kyle Larson ended up 13th. Joey Logano finished in 28th. The good news for Logano, he can definitely ill afford a poor finish because he's already locked into the championship 4. Let's take a look at the NASCAR standings as we enter the elimination race for all 3 series. Let's start off in numerical order with the Truck Series. And this is the gap. So, yeah, Grant Enfinger, no matter what happens, he is in the Final 4 no matter what happens this weekend. Corey Heim comes into the Martinsville weekend 49 points above the cut line. Christian X 38 points above, and Tom Majeski is 22 points above the cut line. 22 below will be Raja Caruth. 24 below Taylor Gray. Tyler Ankrum is 41 below the cut line, and Nick Sanchez is 43 below the cut line. I think Ankrum and Sanchez will be entering Martinsville this weekend in a must-win situation. Move to the Xfinity Series playoff grid. This is what their playoff grid scenario looks like. Austin Hill joins AJ Allmendinger in the championship 4, regardless what happens. Justin Allgaier, 35 cut line. Cole Custer is 20 above the cut line. 28 below is Chandler Smith. 35 below Jesse Love. 47 below will be Sam Mayer, and Sammy Smith is 95 above. Sammy Smith and Sam Mayer will definitely be his race at Martinsville in a must-win situation as far as that is concerned. And then your playoff grid going into the Cup race, Tyler Reddick, who would have been 5 points below the cut line, he's in the championship 4 regardless. Same with Joey Logano. Christopher Bell's 29 points above the cut line. 7 above is William Byron. And then the 4 drivers below the cut line are Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott. I think Blaney and Elliott will definitely be heading into Martinsville in a must-win situation this weekend. So I've already given you my thoughts on the Mexico. Let me give you my thoughts on Homestead. The truck race was kind of a little kind of boring, kind of meh, kind of one of those you know what kind of deals and all that. But I thought it was a fun race, nevertheless, despite what we saw. Xfinity was kind of the same way. Cup was kind of the same way as well. I didn't expect to. I didn't expect to see a couple of calm races. I was expecting a lot more fun and quiet racing and all that, but we'll just never know. So yeah. So that's my thoughts. You guys can let me know in the comments below what were your thoughts on this weekend's races at Martinsville, or not Martinsville. Excuse me. This weekend's races from Homestead, and what do you guys think we should see at Martinsville, knowing it is a triple elimination race, which means Fly Tech is official. We will know the 4 drivers that will make it into the champ. We will know the 4 drivers who their championship hopes really come to an end as far as that is concerned. Let's go over the top story news here on Triple P, starting with our big headline of the weekend. There has been a lot of headlines to discuss in this race weekend. First off, Irwindale Speedway will be shutting down their doors at the end of their last race will come on December 21st. No word on what this could mean for businesses going forward as far as that is concerned. A lot of people, Corey LaJoie, do not know what he's doing next year as far as that is concerned. According to Bob Puckris, Rick Sermon would think Corey LaJoie still in the mix for the 51. Also, wouldn't rule out Charter goes to RFK Racing running a second car at least part-time as far as that is concerned. We have also talked about possibly 8 open charter spots, which mean we could end up having the smallest Cup Series field in history with only 32. We'll have to wait and see. They're planning on a special exhibition race on December 21st. Let's see here. Oh, Justin Thomas, congratulations to him on winning a crap load of money this past weekend at Martinsville, promoting the MX5 Cup race for the race weekend that we had with the MX5 Cups. We also had Justin Bonsignor not only win the race at Martinsville, but also claim the championship as far as that is concerned. So very good news there. Hold on a second. Somebody just pinged me. So hold on. I'm about to do this to somebody. Give me 1 second. I gotta do a video here. Alright, I'm just gonna give somebody a assessment as far as that's concerned. So yeah. And I will just get ready to do my picks later on for football. So yeah. So that was what happened at Homestead and all that. I think that's all the top story news, other than we don't know when RFK will make the announcement of Ryan Preece going full time in the 64 the Cup Series next year. Personally, in my opinion, I think he deserves to go back to late models because I don't know what he has deserved to get Cup rides, but again, it's going to be daddy's money, blah 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 blah, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. So yes. Let's go ahead and cover important business that I did not take care of last week on last week's show. I didn't do the NR report. So we're going to just take care of the NR report right now and tell you what happened from this week from the last 2 races of Indianapolis and also Memphis. Courtney Lynn and Logan Williams won. We'll quickly review those races now in the event. Didn't get too far into the event until lap number 12, where Emma Kaiser got a bit high, as you're seeing the replay right now. Got a bit high, got turned by Dylan Van Dyke. The two of them go into the wall. Nowhere to go, and he collected color, which I will actually mention on the NR report as far as that's concerned. Kaiser hit the wall, and unfortunately, their days were done. Also, Hadley Martin, which the next race you will see at was supposed to be at Bristol, but it's now going to be at Twin Ring Motegi. Both the Martin sisters and David Heller will make their final starts before we will have replacement drivers starting at Texas the following week. So there's that news report in the NR report. As far as that's concerned, Sebastian also got collected in that, and that's too bad because he was having a good run. So your top 10 results from Indianapolis were the following for the Red Bull GT Series race. Logan Williams' first career win and first win of season 3. Good run for Nathan Murphy, Jackson Harrison, a couple of drivers who've been struggling in the points. Elena Aurora, quiet run for her. Only 3 of the 40 starters in the Red Bull GT Series race at Indianapolis. Lineup panelists: Zachary Taylor, 29, Peterson, 33rd. Kind of expected Addy not having a good run there, but to be fair, it's Indy. Dylan Van Dyke was the last to finish the race on the lead lap, and as I said, only 3 of the 40 starters in the race at Indy failed to finish in that race. And then we move on to Memphis, which went quiet and calm. Another track that is no longer working. Courtney Lynn, first win of season 3. Nice dive run for Trinity Lee, Henrietta Fitzwater. Logan Williams backing up from Indianapolis last week to get a nice top 5. Also, Chaz Farmer made it in Indiana Motorsports 1-2. Quiet run for Ingrid Pollard, Zachary Fitzwater, Blake Wagner, Will Parrish, and David Hiller. The rest of the results: Zachary Taylor, one of his better runs of the year, 26. Everybody finished the race on the lead lap. Nobody finished out of the race. All 40 drivers ran that race clean in 20 laps. Red Bull GT Series will head to Twin Ring Motegi next week, and that is going to be the last race for David Hiller and the Martindale sisters after the controversy that has happened in the last couple of weeks. So want to throw that news out there before I forget. So yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing how the Red Bull GT Series drivers will run at the will run this season. Should be a lot of fun in that process. Let me take care of important business before I forget. I'm just going to do this right now so I don't have to worry about it. So let me just go ahead and discuss about my thoughts so far on this whole NASCAR season. Now that we've covered basically everything, and that while I'm making my football picks for the FBRL server that just pinged me a second ago, so I just need to get these picks done while I talk about, who's been the big disappointment, who's the big surprise. And I also talk about another silly season news that I don't know if it will happen or not, but we will have to wait and see. This, I mean, you look at like what Ford Mustang, the Ford camp, trying to get used to the new door course. There have been a lot of questions earlier on in the year when they were going to get to victory lane, blah, 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 blah. Well, so far, they really found their stride throughout the summer and throughout most of the playoffs. So it's nice to see them finally being a lot more competitive in that regard. Can they keep it going into the Martinsville and Phoenix races? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I can tell you that it has been a very interesting season, nevertheless, as far as that is concerned. So looking forward to see what happens in these next coming races to see if if Ford can keep up their momentum. Should be a lot of fun. And I think we're in for a very exciting treat, nevertheless. In regards to a rumor, I'm going to respond. Uh, rumor saying that Chick will be out of that 42. My big question for Legacy Motor Club, is it the driver or is it the car? Because this is not John Hunter Nemechek's fault. Okay, this is not his fault. I know there's going to be people be like, well, it's kind of his fault. No, John Hunter Nemechek is a phenomenal driver, and we've seen him. We've seen the talent he had in both the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series on both occasions in his 2 stints that he's done. And we thought, well, let's see, John Hunter Nemechek, I hope has a good results in the Cup Series. Well, apparently, so like I said, the big question for me is it the car? Is it the crew chief issue? I don't think it's a driver issue. I think it's a crew chief car issue because ever since we've gone to the N car, I do not think I don't think Legacy Motor Club has not improved. I think they have been weak as far as that is concerned. I'm not trying to bash them and say, well, that's probably an obvious one. Which, let's be honest, I really think John Hunter Nemechek deserves a second season. I mean, look at what happened to Noah Gragson. He never got a chance to have a second season with Legacy Motor Club. Of course, he gets suspended indefinitely for incident and got reinstated, and yeah, never made a cup start again until he went to SHR. But now you look at what I've seen, this season. I mean, Gragson kind of improved, but he's now on the move because remember, SHR is leaving after these 2 races we have coming up. So, what's going to happen remains to be. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see if he can improve next season, and what happens as far as that is concerned. So, yeah. As far as the whole season is concerned, it's been a it's been a oh, it's been a good season. I mean, we kind of expected it was going to be maybe Hendrick versus JGR for the championship, but I think anybody expected a scenario where um, we have 27 now in the final 4 um, with Tyler Reddick, and the thing that stands out to me in terms of concern is, could we end up having a scenario that's never been done before, that the defending series champion possibly, if Tyler Reddick wins the championship, what's the chances that we could have a possible new champion in the Cup Series not even make the Daytona 500 because of the controversial charter situation? You see my point here, folks? The problem I have with the charter system is that I understand you want like money and value, and I get that. But if Tyler Reddick wins the championship next week, and I'm not trying to bash Tyler Reddick because I know Demon Hunter will, because I'm on the show with him, which is LTR, and we don't have this discussion about this. But if we have a chance that possibly Tyler Reddick, who could possibly win a championship, could possibly miss the Daytona 500, that's on 2311 for not signing the charter agreement. And bad, to tell you the truth, because a lot of income, and that's not a good thing as far as that's concerned. So I really hope this deal gets that's concerned. I hope so. But if not, we're to a very ugly situation that we can have as that is concerned. Oh, and Pato Award's going to probably will attend the race at Mexico next year. So there you go. So yeah. hooray for that situation. One other thing I do need to mention in the truck series, Hettinger Racing has Brett Holmes Racing, who shut down. Hettinger, former Truck Series champion Brett Moss, Craftsman Truck Series events of 2024. Hettinger Racing is a late model team which is owned by Chris Hettinger, whose daughter Katie Hettinger, who got suspended for her little incident last season before the November holiday. She's also running the late model program as far as that's concerned. So, yeah. So Hettinger says the organization will continue fielding its late model program in the Z-Max car and select events in the ARCA Menard series and the truck series that fits their schedule the best. Makes sense. Brett Moffitt, of course, will run these two races, and their plans for next season will be announced at a later date. But it's going to be interesting to see what Chris Hettinger is a talented driver. Of course, this is the first, and I would, if I'm Chris Hettinger, I really hope he has a good, successful tenure, in NASCAR. And like I said, his daughter got in trouble last year and got suspended. And I know his daughter, and he's raised his daughter better than that. And I really think he's got some good good some that will help him. And this is the weird part. This is the first time the Ford truck is going to be on a truck team that's not KBM or Spire from last year. So, that's probably what I'm thinking. So, and I love Katie Hettinger, but, she's a female driver, and I know what she did last year. Um, I know I know her, what happened from the car store incident. This time last year, she ended up getting suspended, run the race that car away because of her incident. Because of the incident that happened with her and Carson Quaffle, or no, King Quaffle, excuse me. So I think Katie Hettinger has learned a lot, being a much more mature driver. And of course, she is a senior in high school, and I know she stepped away from racing for now, but I'm really proud of driver. So yeah, so that's my take on that. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comment section down below. Into that, I don't know why Tyler and LTR is like. So I'm gonna just give him the question mark of why are you laughing? That's what happens when Tyler likes to whack off to people. So yeah. So yeah. So that's so that's the top story news and all that. Now let's get you ready for this weekend's races coming up. We have the first of all the Brazilian Grand Prix. It is coming up. You can catch the Brazilian Grand Prix. We have the sprint race, by the way, on Saturday. The race will be at noon Eastern time on ESPN. You can catch that race, and then of course we'll talk about the Las Vegas weekend. That'll be on the November holiday. One race that will be the last before they go racing at Viva Las Vegas in Las Vegas, Nevada. Their North America tour. So, yes. So that'll be their last race before they go on a little bit of a break. We have all three series. Of course, they're back for the final two race weekends. That as they're in the middle part of the final races of the season. The Truck Series race, you can catch the Zip Buy Now Pay Later 200 Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on FS1. You can catch the race or listen to the race on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. And the Xfinity Series race, you can catch the National Debit Relief 250 Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time on the CW. You can also listen to the race on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. And then Sunday, you can catch the Xfinity 500 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, NBC. You can also listen to the race on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR. It is the final elimination race for all three series, which means we're going to find out who will be in the championship four, who will be the four drivers eliminated from playoff contention, as far as that is concerned. So, should be a lot of fun. Our panelists, all the other than Zachary Taylor. Zachary Taylor is serving an 8-race suspension of people's picks the last couple of weeks. So, yeah, I hope he learned his lesson, because if he didn't, then he's going to get thrown down the mountain into the cap dive. So, we're going to have the option tire. It's going to be interesting to see how the option tire will do. Also, should remind everybody that you get to spring go fall back an hour. You'll get an extra hour of sleep this weekend. So I bet for all of us who've been working long, hard hours deserve that extra hour of sleep. And I bet you everyone will definitely deserve that extra hour of sleep. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun as far as that is concerned. But Martinsville should be interesting about the option tire. Um, can't wait to see who makes the championship four and who will be the four drivers that get eliminated from the playoffs as far as that is concerned. So yes, um, should be exciting. So next week on Triple P, onto our next week's schedule, we're going to recap Martinsville. We'll tell you about who made the championship four and all that, yada yada yada. I'll give you my scenario who I think is going to win the championship. In the comment section, who do you have winning the championship of the Truck Series, the ARCA Menard Series West, the Xfinity and Cup Series at Phoenix? That would be the only thing we'll have next weekend at Phoenix. And then we're off for a few weeks until we get ready to head to F1. And we also will talk about the supercars and all that. So, yeah, we're nearing the home stretch. And I can't believe we're already at the home stretch of what has been a very interesting season, nevertheless. So, as I said, we will preview Phoenix. I'm going to put on, okay, so Phoenix for all that. We also have, we're going to talk about Adelaide. That'll be in 2 weeks. So we'll have a week off. Then we'll have Las Vegas. We'll have Phoenix. Or no. We'll have Adelaide. We'll have Las Vegas, Qatar, and ending the season in Abu Dhabi. So those are the remaining races we got coming up in this 2024 season so far. Before I end off this this awesome show, which brings me to my final thoughts. Which being the 29th that I'm by the time you're watching this, it is October 30th. Yesterday marks 4 years since burned upside down in the passing of my stepmom, Laura McCoy, at the age of that dreadful number that I'm not going to say, or I'm going to get hit with a frying pan. I really miss her every day ever since that tragic day 4 years ago on the 29th, which was yesterday. With all of you guys' support and, overcoming what has been a emotional roller coaster events. It's been a lot to change and look back on the good times. So, I'm looking forward to finally just putting an end to that misery. I know that misery it's been getting a lot better and better over the years. Just trying to not talk about that day, but I know it's gonna suck, and I know next year is really gonna suck because now I'm gonna have to deal with this again in April as well as next October of 2025. But it's been a lot to think about, but it's going to be something that's going to be a normal day. But I know everybody will still think of me, and I'm still going to do good things. So it's really important for me to continue what I love, and I've made that promise to continue to love what I do, and and if you guys love the sport, appreciate that. So, um, make sure you guys subscribe. I would appreciate that, and like I said, next year our goal is to try to get to 400, if not 500 subscribers. That love the passion I put channel each and every day. So hope everybody is appreciative, and I appreciate you guys' support as far as that is concerned. So final thoughts from the weekend. I'll go ahead and say, what's going to happen with Connor Jones? Will there be a punishment? Will there be a suspension? And all that. Uh, you know, did he deserve? Did the 2-lap penalty become more of a set precedent? Could there be a suspension? We'll have to wait and see. Um, and if Connor Jones does get suspended, who is ThorSport going to put in the truck? So, that's something they're going to have to think about going into. We'll see what happens and all that. Leaving Homestead, it was a very kind of interesting race. But it should be interesting to say the least. We're gonna have to keep our eyes on that and all that. Um, F1, the championship battle is tightening up. Max Verstappen still leads the drivers' championship with now 4 races to go. And funny stat is, I did the sprint race yesterday. Which, spoiler warning, if you guys did not see my F124, my sprint race from Coda, disclaimer: Verstappen did not win the sprint race for anyone asking. So now he's 0-4. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Is it too little, too late for Lando? Maybe Ferraris and all that. We'll see. But the constructors' battle is really heating up with 4 races left to go, including the 2 sprint races, which is Brazil and Qatar. It's going to be interesting to see what happens as we get down to the final stretches of the race. Excuse me. I think it's going to be a fun one. Can't wait to see what happens this weekend at Martinsville with the option tire, if they use it, which I think they are. And it should be a very interesting race weekend we're going to have at Martinsville, and it's going to be fun. So, yeah. So, next week it is NASCAR finale. We'll have the NASCAR weekend at Phoenix. We'll also race championship, who I think is going to be in the championship. Who I think is going to win the championship in the ARCA West Series. It's not going to be my friend Jack Wood. He said would, but it should be a fun championship battle nevertheless. So, yeah. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say happy Halloween to all of my awesome subscribers who watched this awesome video. If you're watching this on Twitch, make sure you follow me so you do not miss the next stream I do on Twitch TV. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want to thank you guys for joining me for today's episode of Triple P on October 30th, the last episode in October. Whoop, whoop. So, yes, if you guys enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like. If you haven't considered subscribing yet, I highly recommend you do so in order to keep up with some wonderful content coming out in the near future, as well as future episodes of your favorite podcast coming out throughout the rest of this week and onward to the next. Looking forward to talking about the GT Series race from Japan it's going to be a fun discussion we're going to talk about on next week's show, our episode for the month of November. So thank you everybody for joining me. We'll see you guys next time on this amazing channel. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Dean DeVos, the Blue Hedgehog, signing off, saying good afternoon and good night from Yukon, Oklahoma. Thanks as always for joining us. We appreciate your listenership, your support, and also supporting Bucky Jr. Yay! Says Bucky Jr. Thank you guys as always for joining us for that. We have a fun show. We'll have our panelists with us next week when we record Triple P to discuss about our championship contenders and who we think is going to win the championship. Whether we are right or wrong, it's going to be a lot of fun next week. But thank you guys so much for watching. Happy Halloween, buddy. Make it a great day, everybody. And we'll talk as you've been watching yet another broadcast of Bree TV, celebrating 14 years as the best center racing around the world since 2017. I'm Dina Voiles. Good night from Yukon. We'll see you next week on Triple P. Goodbye, everybody.